Alright, I have two topics for this video. The first is a channel check-in, and the second one is kind of a random topic, but body fat and periods. So like, I'm female, I'm a woman, and I get periods, and there's some like rumors about how body fat could in theory, or potentially, not potentially, in theory, affect periods and stuff like that. That I, in my personal experience living life, have found to be false. So I was going to address that. There's one kind of in particular that I think needs to be addressed. And so the first topic, channel check-in. So channel check-in, I'm doing something, a challenge I posed to myself called the Aldo Leopold challenge. And he's my favorite nature writer from in America, the United States of America, and in the 20th century, so 1900s. He wrote a Sand County Almanac, and I was inspired by his work when I first came across it. Specifically, he is unique amongst nature writers in the United States in the 20th century because he did his own drawings, and a lot of people even today still do captions and stuff, and I really liked he worked his drawings into the story, so there's not captions. It's not just something, it's open to the page, read the caption, be like, I know what this is. It kind of it draws a reader in. Like, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of reading, so when I'm drawn in and I'm like, oh, well, I want to know the story behind this picture, and I read above and below it's not a picture, sorry, the drawing, and then I'm like, well, I want to know the whole story, so then I end up reading the whole book and that kind of thing. And so I really like that, and so it's kind of this challenge I posed to myself. It's a 66-day challenge. I'm on day 9, if I'm remembering that correctly, and so I still have a ways to go. I didn't really mention it when I started it. My goal is to post only one wildlife video a day on my channel for every day, with one exception. That's today. And it's why is it an exception? Because I'm kind of keeping the people who follow my channel and subscribe to my channel and watch my videos and stuff like that. I'm trying to keep you guys included as to what I'm doing and why I went from a lot of videos of me on screen to now it's just wildlife for 66 days with one exception of this video. So that's why I made a playlist for all the videos I'm uploading as part of the Aldo Leopold challenge. And so if you want to see what I post each day, they're in that playlist. I include the film date as well as the date it's premiered on YouTube. So if you want to get, I'm pulling, in addition to posting one video on YouTube each day, I have to film one video with my Nikon or GoPro camera. It's training myself to use those cameras better for videoing wildlife. And letting the wildlife shine. So that's why I've chosen not to post other videos not about the Aldo Leopold challenge during this time, period. So this video is an exception, and that it's, if you want to call me wildlife, anyway, but it's still addressing the Aldo Leopold challenge. And so yes, and it's 66 days I do this. I film at least one video of wildlife each day, and I post only one video of wildlife each day from that I filmed with my Nikon or GoPro camera. And I really like it because I can get a bunch of footage, and then it kind of becomes, well, which footage should I use, and that kind of stuff. So it gets me exercising my executive functioning in discernment skills. So I like, while also honoring Aldo Leopold and kind of the style he took, where he had drawings in his work, but it wasn't a lot. So how do I find that kind of inspirational, not going overboard, and then how do I incorporate that in the story itself? So I'm making the wildlife the story while also figuring out how to cut down what I have so that the essentials are included in these 66 days of footage and filming. And the furthest I'll go back in Nikon and GoPro videos is January. So I started this in January 2021, so I'm not allowed to take any footage before. So if I have a really good video with my Nikon or my GoPro from before 2021, I cannot use it in this challenge. That's just something that I've decided as I've progressed. The goal is recency, and discerning which videos of recent should I post and that kind of thing. Which is a long way of saying that I might not include, because I've missed a couple days of this challenge, like there could be days from during the challenge where no videos are uploaded from that day during the video. Because if I film multiple videos in one day and I decide to post all 5 videos over a 5-day period, then that means 4 days just got bumped, kind of thing. So it also, I really like that aspect. It gets me thinking about, does the day matter, or is it the wildlife that I'm filming that matters, that kind of thing. So yeah, and so that's the first thing, my channel check-in. Second thing is this rumor, and it wasn't, I think some people kind of threw it around in sports in high school. I think it was kind of the mean girls way of, in sports and athletics, the mean girls are a little bit different than kind of the broader school setting. And so they'd kind of start these rumors that weren't necessarily grounded or founded in reality, but would kind of make some of the athletes' lives miserable, and kind of aim at controlling what other athletes ate and that kind of thing, and what their body composition was. And so what I'm referring to specifically is body fat. And one of the things, so with me, I've had below 12% body fat for a while of my life. I was called too low body fat. And then there's a bunch of rumors about what that can do. And for me, I still get periods. That was like the biggest thing, is like, if you're below this percentage of body fat, you won't get your period. That is a myth. That is a lie. Speaking from experience. So if you're trying to get low body fat just to lose your periods, maybe it works for you, but for me, that's actually not true. That doesn't work. And that wasn't the goal in the first place. The goal in the first place was fitness. For me, I have ADHD, and so oddly enough, higher body fat percentages. So like healthy to overweight range. It's kind of like a BMI, only with body fat percentages. It starts to affect my mental capacity, and it starts to become sluggish thinking, kind of like a lack of exercise, because I'm very hyperactive, so I need to burn that off. Body fat actually has a very negative effect on my body, and funny enough, there has been twice in my life where I've missed or not had my period for a few months, and I was overweight and too high of body fat. So that rumor, kind of that all women lose their period if they have too low body fat, is a lie. It's false. Speaking from, there's at least one woman, one female in this world that is not true for, and that's me. So, yeah, so just kind of like things like that, where you're gonna know your body best, and there's a lot of, I call them control mechanisms that people try to use, be it to attempt to sabotage other athletes in competitive environments, or just they aren't in control of themselves, so then they try to control other people. I've seen that, and I've kind of been at the bad end of that, where people, like for me personally, was the other athletes in the competitive environment would be like, that's bad, and it's like, well, at that point I'm not even going to make an effort when talking with doctors, like, oh, you're wrong, because a lot of doctors aren't there to hear about my body, right? They're just there to tell me what I should do, and then they read from some book or some research or some study about things that have zero application to my life, because I had my period 5 days ago, and they're saying you won't have your period and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, you're proven wrong. And so kind of stuff like that. There's a little bit of attitude here. I know it's I guess it's a tough topic. It was more of a tough topic. Now I've kind of learned just some people don't ground what they say or found what they say in reality. And there are people in the medical profession and medical industry it is the industry after all. They're there to get your money from you coming in. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean they're there. And I think it's kind of a harsh reality that I woke up to in my later teenage years and early adulthood. Some of them they're there and they will try and sabotage you, and they'll tell you things that are not true about your body. And you know your body best. So just keep that in mind. And if you're going through a tough time, kind of like I did, be it with malicious and vindictive athletes who get way over into their sport and then don't know how to take a step back and be like, you're actually like affecting this person's life outside of the sports arena too, in a negative way, in a harmful way. So just, you'll get through it, and you'll what worked for me, look for ways, like little saving graces. Like I would maybe refer to it as comicals when this doctor told me your body fat is too low and you will not get your periods, and I had my period 5 days early, and it's just kind of like, well, I know you're lying. Right? That's not true. Speaking from experience. and that kind of thing. And I tracked my body fat. So by the time I reached the doctor, it was already a higher body fat than it was before. So I'm like, I've been at a lower body fat and still got my periods. So I don't know what you're basing what you're saying on, but it ain't physical reality for me. Right? And that's, I think, the most important thing is, remember, your body is your body. Doctors can tell you all they want. That doesn't mean it's true for you. I like that. I'm going to end with that, actually. Yeah. Have a great day.